We received an email from Scania Sweden who invited us here to their main hub in Södertälje. And today we're gonna show you exclusive content as no one has ever been allowed to take photos or videos inside of their engine assembly. But today we do have permission. So as long as you don't work there, you probably haven't seen this anywhere else and you probably won't. Today we're gonna walk through the engine assembly, we're gonna meet the experts, we're gonna see the new Scania Super 11 engine, and they're also gonna give us the opportunity to take it out on the test track even before it hits the market. So we're gonna be one of the first to test drive the new Super 11 engine. Let's begin. The most important step of this journey is going to be the engine assembly, which happens here in the building behind me. Again, we're one of the very, very few, if not the first, to ever get permission to film and take photos inside of this building. So we're very limited to what we can show you, but we're going to do our very best to bring you along as much as we can. And we're going to be introduced to the new Scania 11-liter engine, the Super 11 and the Super 13 by our guides and experts today. So we're made our way through the big entrance and we've met with Eva. Very nice to meet you.
Oh, very nice to meet you as well. Welcome.
Thank you. So what is your role here at Scania?
My role at Scania, I am the project manager for actually market introductions, and I've been part of introducing this new Super 11 engine.
It's going to be very interesting. So we're at the engine assembly where they assemble all the engines.
Yes, here we assemble all the inline engines for the European production and all the V8 engines for the whole global production.
Okay, so but it's divided into sections.
It is divided into sections. We have 3 production lines. We have one with a previous engine platform, one with a new super platform, and one for the V8 platform.
We are very limited to what we can show you guys today. Unfortunately, but this is the section where it's the most restricted area, so to speak. So we're going to do our very best to bring you along. You're going to guide us as we are not fully aware of how this process goes, and you guys are going to be able to join in on this experience and share the information given by Eva. Carry away and show us today's journey.
Oh yes, okay, come along. This is what we will see today. We will see assembly, we will see some testing, and we will have the painting and also logistic and delivery. That is what we are doing up here at this building in Scania World named as 150. And out of what we are doing, we produce, the products are being used in trucks, in buses, in industrial and power generation applications, as well as marine applications. To do all this, we then have Scania-owned manufactured parts, as well as some purchased parts.
The manufactured parts, Scania's own parts, are they manufactured in this building or?
No, they are not in this building. We have the foundry a bit further outside the building, and then we have, as I say, down in the valley, that is where we have a lot of other machineries as well as manufacturing as well.
And as many of you might wonder, if you've driven by here in Södertälje, you've probably seen the big Scania signs, and that is just a fraction of the whole area. I don't know if you are aware of how big it is in square meters or kilometers, but
I think it is like 3 square kilometers or something, if enough.
It's a lot. You have a lot of buildings where most of the parts are created and manufactured and designed in another building and then shipped between buildings, I suppose, to then get to here where they get assembled.
Absolutely.
As a whole.
Yes.
So it is very complex and it's very hard to show you all the details of everything today.
Yes, and as a little bit of a glimpse, I can say that there's 19,000 employees only here in Södertälje.
That is a lot.
That's a lot.
This is what's going to be shown here in this facility.
Yes.
And we're going to have to walk over, but we're not allowed to film certain areas.
Unfortunately not.
So we're going to step to the next part.
Okay, this is a bit of the engine history. In early 20th century, the production was actually still here in Södertälje, but in another building. But the work environment was perhaps not the best, but quite fun to see. Also, we can see how the testing of the Scania engines were done during the 40s. During the 40s, actually, you had a bit of support. You could actually turn then the engine around to improve your work environment somewhat. During the 50s, we can see the final assembly. People were sitting down, doing a bit of work. During the 80s, they actually managed to get a bit of rubber on the floors instead of solid concrete.
So you would say that this has been modernized quite a bit from...
Absolutely. And you might be able to see later on somewhat of the nice flooring that is a lot better from work environment today.
Yeah, and this was actually the same location, Södertälje.
This was location Södertälje, absolutely, but not up here.
Okay, it's amazing to see how it develops over time with starting from this to what it is today. And they probably didn't have a clue about what it could look like, 100 years later down the line, but here we are, and this is where it started, pretty much. Do you know exactly what year Scania was founded?
Scania was founded 1891.
So it's quite a while ago.
Quite a while ago, yes. Now we've come to where we can see the new inline engines are being produced, our new super platform. This platform has a lot higher and tougher cleanliness requirements compared to the previous platform, and that is unfortunately why we can't come as close as we can to the other one. Here we see the base engine being finalized. This is being a robot transporting it to the final assembly. This production line was built to be able to produce both the 11 as well as the 13-liter engine.
And so this is almost done, and then it gets transported over to there where it gets fully assembled. And
Yes.
then as far as, I think this is where they come assembled.
Once they come assembled, exactly.
Okay.
This is the base engine being finalized.
And we have another
Another one
assembled coming in on the side. And it's amazing how these robots are doing everything
Yes.
automated, so to speak, that there is nobody pushing the engines
No.
back and forth.
No.
They get transported by robots, which is...
It's actually a line in the flooring, and they are also inductively charged.
By the floor somehow?
Yes, exactly. Don't
That-
ask me, I don't know
Yeah,
that.
that's way over my my level, but so this is the final product pretty
This
much.
is the final product, exactly. This will continue further down to be tested
Okay.
and then painted until it's been delivered to one of the European production sites to be put into a truck.
That's amazing. And do you know how big this facility is?
In square meters,
Yes.
unfortunately not large.
It's large.
It's large.
It's extra large. And so we've actually been privileged enough to walk through all the stations to kind of see with our own eyes how the heads get assembled and the crankshafts get put into the
Yeah.
engine blocks and everything. And unfortunately, we can't show you that, but we can show you this and the final step and a little bit of history as you've introduced to them. Everything happens in this facility, start to finish.
Start to finish, from the individual parts to a finalized engine, absolutely. Running engine,
So we're gonna move on to the next exhibition hall.
yes.
So we're currently in the super exhibition here with our two experts, Ayub and Thomas. It's very nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Alex.
Thank you for having us.
Nice to meet you.
Welcome to Scania.
Thank you. So you guys are experts in the super division, as I've understood. Is that correct?
I'm technical project lead for the 11-liter engine, which we have over there. And that is an engine that is very similar to this 13-liter engine.
And this is the 13-liter that we have next to us right here.
Yes.
And this has been around since 2021. And this is a 6-cylinder 13-liter. And we're gonna move over to the 11-liter 5-cylinder, which is the new Scania engine, the super engine that you guys have been working on. Could you go into a little bit of depth on this one, what we're looking at? Why is it that Scania decided to go from a 6-cylinder to a 5-cylinder? Is there anything in particular, or is it because you mentioned that some components are the same in the two platforms?
It is the same platform actually, and the reason why we have the 11-liter engine is that it's a smaller engine and it's for lower power levels. The 11-liter engine is from 350 horsepower up to 430 horsepower, while the 6-cylinder engine start at 420 horsepower.
So one of the reasons may be that you want to save some fuel and have a lighter engine, I suppose?
Yes.
Of cutting away one cylinder pretty much. You've also developed new techniques on that one. Are they based and tested on this one before moving on to a 5-cylinder?
No, we developed on the 11-liter engine, but the engine is more or less the same from the start. What we're doing is that we're taking away one cylinder from this engine to get a smaller engine to have the lower power levels. And then we have added new technologies also compared to this engine. We add cam phasers, and by that we have variable valve timing.
These two engines, they are part of our portfolio, actually. It's not that we go from this to that. They are actually customized for different applications and for different customers.
Enthusiasts, so to speak, they're very into the V8 production line, and I would say that that is something that makes Scania stand out in the market, definitely. Again, we can't forget that you guys have the smaller engines too, the 6, the 5. A lot of the viewers are asking me and wondering what is going to happen to the V8, because we're moving towards more environmental friendly. We're trying to get the fuel consumption down, and all these factors come to play, and then it's some sort of a threat to the V8 because it's not going to be as fuel efficient. What's Scania's take? Is it still going to be available? Or?
As I mentioned, all of these engines, V8, 13-liter, 11-liter, depending on the type of the fuel that you can actually run on them, they are part of the bigger portfolio that we have that are dedicated for certain customers. So as long as the demand exists, then of course we will deliver the solution.
Now the 13-liter engine and the 11-liter engine, it's the exact same size of each cylinder on those two engines, and also the V8 is similar in size, so it's a lot of things that we have in common across the platforms also.
So you basically cut away one cylinder, and I see here that the valve cover is also transparent, so we can see through. You were talking a little bit about the variable cam timing and that system. Is that visible here from where we stand, or?
Yes, it is visible. It's in the back of the engine here, where we have two cam phasers. We have both for intake and exhaust side. Cam phasers can change the timing of the camshaft. This way we can control how much air that comes into the engine, how much exhaust that goes out from the engine, and also the heat inside of the engine.
Would you say that this engine is shorter than the 13?
It is actually the same length, since it will go into the same chassis. We have the shaft journal here that makes the engine the same length,
okay.
But in general it is shorter. Intake here, this part is made for 6 cylinders, and we just have a cover for the 6-cylinder.
Will the variable cam timing come to the V8 or the 13 as well?
At Scania we always develop a modular system. Right now it's only the 11-liter engine that has it. Future will tell how.
Future will tell. You will have to wait and see.
We should also talk a little bit about the turbo dosing. What we have done is we have moved the first injection point for the AdBlue from the exhaust pipe down here to the turbo. And we inject the AdBlue directly after the turbine wheel in the turbo. And this is the best place for injecting AdBlue because it's the hottest place, and it's also a very turbulent flow, and that means that we can get extremely good vaporization of the AdBlue.
This design is actually a Scania patented design as well.
Okay,
Yes.
so this is
So
only
that you
going to
know.
be seen in the Scanias and the Super Series.
And now we have engine brake that we call variable valve brake. And that is combining the compression release brake, same technology that we have on the 13-liter engine, with the variable valve timing. And by doing that, we get better control of the braking and also better brake performance. So actually this 11-liter engine has the same brake performance as the 13-liter engine.
We're going to be able to test drive the new supermodels. And I want to thank you, Thomas, for introducing this to us. Thank you, Ayub. Thank you very much. We're going to have a little short lunch break, and we're going to go to the test track. It's always interesting how they develop so much and they make small changes, but it affects the whole in a major way. As we do have a 13-liter right next to me here, which is a 500R 6-cylinder that we're familiar with, and right next to that we have the 530R, which is the 5-cylinder 11-liter engine. And we've have the privilege to test drive both of them today, and we're obviously going to start with what I'm familiar with, which is going to be this truck right here. I've worked with a few. We do have them at the fleet where I work most of the time, and they are 560s and not 500. The only thing that kind of differs between the two is going to be the horsepower. This one is equipped with a retarder brake, while this new 11-liter doesn't have a retarder. It has a Jake brake. So we're going to compare the two at Scania's own test track right behind you guys. So to point out the elephant in the room, as many of you have already seen, I made a video about the touchscreens in the new Scanias, which I'm personally not a fan of, and I know a lot of you guys agreed in the comment sections. The thing, what they did with this is that there is a new software update where the screen is not supposed to go black anymore, and the thing where it shifts from the Bluetooth to the radio once you enter or leave a tunnel doesn't exist anymore. So that's good. There are still these small minor things that I personally prefer to have with knobs and buttons over the touchscreens, but they've done, according to Scania, they've improved they've updated the system and improved the software, and it's not supposed to be glitchy anymore. So just to point that out, because we're about to start this truck, I've actually been driving them for quite a while now, and it is, like a lot of you guys say, it grows on you and it becomes easier over time, obviously. Like for instance, now I'm not reaching for the touch for the fan. I'm reaching for the button because I kind of know where it is. One thing I haven't tried though is the new handbrake. I'm used to the lever, so it's just like any other car. I suppose you pull this. I've never done this before, yes. And you push it to deactivate. Other than that, everything is the same. We're gonna go out in the test track. Again, this is the 500. I've driven these before, the 13-liter. It's a 6-cylinder, but with the new screens. And we're alone on the track today, so we don't really have to pay too much attention to other trucks. They feel exactly the same as the ones that I've driven at work. I mean, torque's there. To be honest with you guys, it's actually really pulling. And even though this is just a trailer, the tractor weighing 35 tons, it's actually not bad at all. And for this, you don't really need a V8, to be honest. This does just fine. Let's see, so here it says we have an 8-degree angle, or decline, using the retarder, just level 1, works perfectly fine. I'm not really familiar with the track, so I'm not sure how fast we can go before we have to hit certain brakes. But I'm mostly curious about the torque and the handling between the two whenever it comes to the retarder, and now Scania is using the Jake brake in the new one. And I'm actually one of those drivers who like to manually operate, so I usually shift a little bit myself. Kind of amazing though how they have their own test track with speed limits and stuff. Comfort-wise, if you haven't driven a Scania, if you're from the US and you're not familiar with them, it's the cab itself is sitting on airbags, while the whole truck itself is sitting on airbags too. So technically it feels like you're driving on a cloud. It's not bumpy at all. It's there's a lot of comfort in these. And so, I mean, if you're from Europe or Sweden and you've driven them before, then you're very familiar. So there is a lot of torque in these, and I feel like I'm very comfortable with driving these, and I've done it so much I can kind of refer. But this is a very good way for me to refresh my memory and how this feels. But again, it's going to be very interesting to drive kind of the same truck with the same weight, but going down in cylinder volume. So right now I'm parking this right here, slot number 5, and then we're going to jump into to the 11 liter. So regarding the new handbrake, I was informed that it works in a way where if you have it active and you have your seatbelt on, this little icon right here shows green, which means that I can put it in gear and start driving without releasing the handbrake manually. But once I turn my seatbelt off, the light turns off, meaning I can't move. So if I put it in drive now and I try to move, I'm still stuck. Might have to hit that button again, we'll see. Turns green. And there we go. No handbrake. I like it, I'm lazy, so I'm pro. Kind of sounds like a 6 in a way, but a little different. Keep in mind now this is an 11 liter compared to a 13, and it's 70 horsepower less. It's pretty much the same weight, and this chassis is just sitting a little bit lower, as this is a EU style, but I kind of want to downshift here just to see what happens in the hill. It's keeping the speed actually. It's decreasing a little bit. It feels like the other one was a little bit stronger than this, but it's not really all that much of a difference. Oh, it actually sounds like a Jake brake too. That's crazy. Okay, so no retarder now, so we're gonna go downhill a little bit, so we're actually gonna see the difference. The experts described and explained to us, you can pretty much run this as much and long as you want without anything overheating. Okay, let me upshift doing this. It's very efficient and it's very effective, surprisingly enough. But the sound is, it sounds like a Jake brake. You can hear that it sounds like you're just increasing, and like the whole compression ratio increases as you brake. It feels like you hear this tone of, you can hear that it's really not the same. It's not really the same engine sound, but it's not very different. Would I be able to say that this is more or less efficient than the retarder? I wouldn't know, but it's definitely not bad. I kind of want to say that it feels like it's a little bit less torquey, obviously, because smaller displacement and less horsepower, but it's not that much of a difference, honestly. We've seen the engine assembly, we've spoken to the experts, we've seen the new engine, and we've also been given the privilege to test drive the new Super 11 and compare it to the Super 13. Would I say it's very different? Not really. A little bit less horsepower, a little bit less torque, but it's not really all that far from the Super 13. And I know a lot of you guys are assuming by seeing this video that this is Scania's way of getting rid of the V8 and replacing it with this. But you don't have to worry, the V8's not going anywhere. This is just a way for Scania to expand their portfolio and give their customers more options. We really want to thank Scania Sweden for inviting us here, giving us the opportunity to test drive at their test track, see the factory from the inside, which is something that they've rarely ever done before in history. So we really want to thank you guys for doing that. And don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, and we will see you next time.